Welcome back to Language Unlocked, where we help you master English with ease. Whether you're a beginner or an advanced learner, our goal is to make your journey through the English language as smooth and enjoyable as possible. Today, we'll explore 3 more idioms that you can use in your everyday conversations. Idioms that will not only enhance your vocabulary, but also make your speech more colorful and engaging. The idioms we'll be focusing on today are by the book, cut corners, and between a rock and a hard place. These expressions are commonly used in various contexts, and understanding them will give you a significant edge in both casual and formal conversations. Ready to dive in? Let's go! First up is by the book. This idiom means to do things strictly according to the rules. Imagine you're following a recipe to bake a cake. If you follow the recipe exactly as it is written, without making any changes or taking any shortcuts, you're doing it by the book. In a professional setting, doing something by the book means adhering to the established guidelines and procedures. For example, in a corporate environment, employees are often required to follow company policies by the book to ensure consistency and compliance. For example, we have to do everything by the book to avoid any fines from the financial regulators. This means that the company must follow all the rules and regulations meticulously to avoid any penalties. The origin of this idiom is straightforward. It refers to following a book of rules or regulations. Historically, many professions had manuals or rule books that outlined the correct procedures to follow. By adhering to these guidelines, individuals ensured that they were performing their duties correctly and avoiding any potential issues. Next, we have cut corners. This idiom means to do something in the easiest, quickest, or cheapest way, often compromising quality and bending the rules. Imagine you're building a house, and instead of using high-quality materials, you opt for cheaper alternatives to save money. This is an example of cutting corners. In everyday life, cutting corners can apply to various situations. For instance, if you're working on a project and decide to skip some steps to finish it faster, you are cutting corners. While this might save time in the short term, it often leads to problems later on. For instance, the company's decision to cut corners ended up costing them dearly. This means that by trying to save time or money, the company ultimately faced negative consequences, such as poor quality products or services, customer complaints, or even legal issues. The origin of cut corners comes from the idea of literally cutting across corners to save time, instead of following the proper path. This practice might seem efficient, but it often leads to incomplete or subpar results. Lastly, we have between a rock and a hard place. This idiom means being in a difficult situation where there are no good options. Imagine you're hiking and find yourself trapped between a steep cliff and a dense forest. Both paths are challenging, and neither offers an easy way out. In everyday scenarios, being between a rock and a hard place means facing a dilemma where all available choices are unfavorable. For example, you might have to choose between staying in a job you dislike or quitting and facing financial uncertainty. For example, management finds itself between a rock and a hard place after the corruption scandal. This means that the management team is in a tough situation where they must make difficult decisions, none of which are ideal. This idiom likely originates from the mining industry, where miners often had to navigate difficult and dangerous passages. Being trapped between a rock and a hard place was a literal and life-threatening situation for them. There you have it, 3 idioms that will enrich your English vocabulary and make you sound more like a native speaker. These expressions are not only useful, but also add depth and nuance to your conversations. Remember, using idioms correctly takes practice, so try incorporating these into your conversations. Start by using them in simple sentences and gradually build up to more complex scenarios. The more you practice, the more natural they will become. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to Language Unlocked, and share it with your friends who are also learning English. Your support helps us create more content to assist you in your language learning journey. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about our next video. We have a lot of exciting topics lined up that will further enhance your English skills. See you next time. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be using idioms like a pro.